Why does my hair look so bad? I don't know why I think that makes it better, but whatever. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really good. If you've read the title, you already know that I'm planning to talk about the feeling of being in a rut and getting out of it. So this past week has been really productive. I feel like I've been at the top of my game. I feel like I've felt better, more energized. But the week just before this one was not the best when it comes to work. I felt really, what's the word for it? I felt really demotivated. I felt a complete lack of energy, and I wasn't inspired to do any good work. And so then suddenly this switch happened into this week, and I started wondering, like, what happens to us that we go through these phases of being really excited, and the next phase you're just like, I really don't want to do anything. So I thought that since I'm going through this, and since all of us are, mostly at home right now, a lot of people are going through this. So I think let's just address this topic real quick. If you don't already know the meaning of this feeling of being in a rut, I don't think it's restricted to just this phase of being in a lockdown. I think we've felt this for as long as we've existed. But I think it's a lot more profound right now because everything that we could do to get out of the rut, or the feeling of being in a rut, is sort of limited or eliminated at this moment. And I think most of it is quite a mental game actually. Like, just picture yourself a year ago. What were you doing? I think you were living a pretty hectic life, and all you wanted to do at that point was sit at home, binge on some Netflix series or whatever you watch, and just relax, And now that we have this, and we have it in such excess quantity, in a way, it's difficult to cope with it. And then we are creatures of change. We require change, whether it's big or small. That's up to each person, individual person. But since we cannot get that, and since we've been told that we cannot do it, we are experiencing this feeling of being in a rut more and more excessively. So it's around 6:30 right now. I have a work call that is coming in just a few minutes. But I just thought, let me just pick up the camera, take you around with me for the rest of the evening, and we can chat about what it's like being in this feeling, and most probably how to get over it, and how to, keep breaking that cycle whenever you fall into it. So with that, I hope you like the video. Stay tuned till the end, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you do like it. Okay, so the call went on for like 40 minutes, but it's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. So if you've seen anything on social media, if you follow me on Instagram, I actually have an online session that is happening on 9th August, Sunday. So I've just been really busy preparing for that. I have to conduct a 1-hour session on confidence building and personality development and all those things.
Wait, you're just a little crooked. 1 second. Yeah, much better. So, coming back to the point, I'm sorry, I'm going really slowly today. Coming back to the point.
Last week, when this entire session was decided and it was publicized on social media platforms, I suddenly had something to look forward to and something to start preparing for. So that sort of gets me to the first point of how you can actually get out of this cycle that you're stuck in, that where you're unproductive. You want to do something, but you don't really have the energy to do it. So you might type on Google that, what to do when you're bored, but then you're too bored to do any of those things either. So one of the best tips that I can say is just set a deadline for something. Make it very accountable. Make yourself very accountable. I cannot talk today. I'm so sorry. Make yourself accountable to a good deadline. So you have something that is pushing you towards that goal. So the point is, you just have to set the deadline, and you just have to do something for like the first 5 minutes. Usually the first 5 minutes are the hardest, but then once you get into it, you're just gonna like keep at it, because once you get the ball rolling, it's much easier to stick out with it. Anyone knows me, they know that pink glittery stuff is not really my style, but I actually did not want to buy this, but there's a big I want to say funny, but it's kind of just annoying. There's an annoying story behind this. We'll get into it later.
I digress way too much.
Alright, I feel like I'm talking too much and I just talked for 40 minutes on the call, so I'm going to take a little break. I'm giving some finishing touches to the website, so I'm going to do that and I'll catch up with you very soon. As you can see, it's become pretty dark outside, so yeah. So I just finally got up from my desk and I thought, let me just talk about the next thing that I really believe is important to get out of the cycle that you're kind of stuck in. So let's just close off everything before we begin. That feels nice. I'm wondering how I'm always wearing black when I'm doing a video, but you know what? 99% of my closet is just black clothes. Black t-shirts to me are what grey t-shirts are to Mark Zuckerberg. So something that I've realized that really works for me is when we're in a rut, we're essentially repeating the same cycle over and over again, right? So if you think of it, if you just start changing something very, very minute, you're going to see a big change. You want to figure out a way to break out of this cycle that you're stuck in. So just observe. For the next day, just observe everything that you're doing. Are you sitting in the same exact spot to work? Are you sitting in the same exact spot to have your food? While you're chilling on the bed, are you sitting in the exact same position? You might not realize it, but the smallest change can make the biggest difference. So going forward, if you want to get out of a rut, maybe you can start off simply by changing these really, really, really small things. In the long run, they're going to make a big difference. Sit in a different place, work in a different place, eat in a different place, and you might see a change happening. I just finished my 1-hour online webinar and I was quite tired to continue talking in this vlog, but I was in the mood to cook, so I just prepared some dinner and really enjoyed it. So I've come to the farm with my parents. I'm sorry if I'm talking a bit softly. So I just spent the day walking around in the greenery, looking at all my animals, just enjoying this weather. It's raining and it's lovely, and I couldn't help but think about why I had started this vlog in the first place, and that is to talk about the feeling of being in a rut. And for some reason, just being relaxed made me feel so much better, and it made me feel like I don't really care much about being in a rut. So I thought I should just share this feeling with you guys, is that I feel like because of what we see around, we feel like things have to keep moving fast, things have to change really quickly, and because of that I think we've become impatient. If we ever reach a very slightly slow moving phase or pace of our life, we immediately get nervous, like, oh my god, I'm in a rut. And maybe the best way to not be in a rut is stop complaining about things that are happening and just relax and enjoy this phase that you're in at this moment. I think if we just accept the fact that sometimes some days are going to be slow and some days are going to be mundane and most weeks are going to look similar to the other, I think we would stop feeling the need to get out of a rut, because we will stop classifying it as a rut. I've never made a video that spans over so many days. I hope you're still with me. I just worked out after a very long gap, and then I sat down and made a to-do list, a giant to-do list of all the things that I had been procrastinating doing, and I just like smashed out everything on it. And it's so satisfying when you can just like tick off things from your list. It's the best feeling, I swear. In the first point I said it's the best idea to set a deadline, right? So that you're working towards something. But the thing is, when you're working towards something, you're really motivated and pumped up because you have a goal. But the minute that goal gets over, or that deadline gets over and completed, there's a very good chance that your energy levels and your motivation and all is just going to go back down the way it was when you were stuck in a rut. So one thing that has really helped me is realizing that there is a very small window when you can actually use the deadline that just got over and the feeling of excitement and motivation that you got to catapult you into the next thing. So that window lasts for a very short time, so you have to capitalize on it. So while you are working for your deadline, make sure that if you want to keep working and you want to feel out of that rut and you're afraid you're going to go back into it. So the best thing is that when you're still working for the deadline, start working on the next task that you have to. So when you're that pumped up, you're going to actually create a lot of things that, okay, I'm going to get this done, then I'm going to get that done. But the minute the deadline gets over, you actually want to chill, rest, etc. And then you don't end up going back to the things that you set. So make sure that as soon as the first deadline is over, just push yourself a little bit more to continue doing with the other things that are on your list. Because if you miss out on that window of feeling really energetic and really pumped up, then bringing yourself back into that mode gets harder. So it's like when you stop, it's really hard to start again. So that's a really important thing that has helped me to keep the ball rolling. And the last thing that I want to mention, which I think is the most important part of it, is if you are experiencing this feeling of being stuck in a rut more often than you'd like to, it's quite normal for everyone to go through it. But if you find yourself demotivated and feeling this stuck feeling very often, then I think it's important to dig a little deeper and actually find out why this is happening. So you have to focus on the why part of it to be able to actually solve it on a much deeper level rather than just like putting the band-aid on it, right? So the first few points I mentioned, they're like a quick fix. But if you really feel that this is happening a lot and it's really detrimental to your progress, then I think it's a great idea to actually sit down and figure out where it's stemming from. Alright, so before I drag this video on for too long, I think I would just like to say that I hope these little tidbits help you get out of this feeling that you're in. I hope you don't have to keep going through it, but if you are, then it's a really good idea to just have some alone time with yourself, figure out what is happening, and I'm sure you'll do just fine. And remember, we're in a very weird situation. No one could have anticipated it, and no one could have prepared themselves to deal with it mentally. So if you're just not doing fine right now, specifically to this, just go easy on yourself. You know, it's fine if you're feeling that way. So with that, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps my channel a lot. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you stuck around till the end. Alright, thank you so much and see you next time.